Hello everyone and welcome back to Aeronexos. Today we start lesson 5 of the FS Academy Interceptor program, looking at VOR navigation, the first part. So let's dive into this lesson with our instructor and learn a little bit about VOR navigation.
You now have the techniques for the basic handling of the aeroplane on instruments alone. Maintain the straight and level attitude to keep us on heading north and maintain 4,000 feet. We are going to begin to navigate the invisible highways in the sky, using radio beacons as your guides. We're going to get to grips with a cornerstone of IFR navigation, the VOR. Using the Nav1 radio, tune in the Jersey VOR, frequency 112.2, and make it active. Now turn on the Nav1 audio ident at the top of the radio stack. We have heard the Morse code ident for Jersey and can now display on NavAid. You can turn off the ident audio now if you like. The Nav1 display has come alive, with the CDI bar deflected to the left. Turn the OBS knob anti-clockwise so that we center the CDI bar with a 2 indication. We now see the CDI bar centered and a 2 flag shown on the Nav1 receiver. The bearing set at the top of the OBS with the CDI centered is the course we can fly to take us directly to the VOR. The bearing at the bottom of the OBS dial is our radial, our relative position from the VOR. We can now determine that we are situated to the southeast of the VOR, around the radial 110. This is only a snapshot of our position, however. Continue straight ahead and watch how the CDI bar moves off to the left. The CDI is now far left. To capture the course to the VOR set on our OBS, we must fly to the left of that course. Turn the OBS again to recenter the CDI bar. Now we have the CDI recentered, the OBS gives us a new bearing to fly. Make a left turn at rate 1 to the course set at the top of the OBS. We are now flying the course we have set on the OBS towards the VOR. Remember that when we set the OBS to center the CDI, this is only a snapshot. Even during our turn we have covered ground, so our position is slightly different. Recenter the CDI one more time and make a small turn to this new course at the top of the OBS. Now keep the OBS set as it is and make any small corrections needed to fly towards the VOR by keeping the CDI centered. This will take a few minutes. Use this time to practice the straight and level scan, plus giving attention to the CDI bar following its guidance. For example, if the CDI moves left, we need to fly to the left of our selected course to recapture. If the CDI moves right, fly right.
So I'm moving a bit to the left, turning left, given that the needle is not centered. It's turning back, of course. Maintaining altitude and heading centered. Small altitude corrections.
We're still a few minutes away from the VOR, so keep flying straight and level, keeping the CDI in your scan, making small corrections. Remember that radials emanate from the VOR. When we track to the VOR on a radial, our course is the reciprocal of this radial. When flying inbound on a radial, we can convert this radial to a course by adding or subtracting 180 degrees. For example, to fly inbound to the beacon on the radial 090, we would fly a course of 270, similar to what we are currently doing. Or to fly the radial 120 to the VOR, we would fly a course 300. We will look at this more in the next lesson. Continue towards the Jersey VOR. As we near the VOR, we will see that the CDI becomes more sensitive. We are now reaching the VOR and will have high sensitivity on the CDI. At this point, we don't chase the CDI needle, as it will begin to make fast and large movements as we cross overhead the VOR. Just continue straight ahead on our course. Notice how in the overhead we get large deflections of the CDI and have a period where we have no guidance. This is known as the cone of confusion. Just maintain our course until we reach the other side and our indications return. Watch as the to flag on the nav1 display changes to a from flag as we pass overhead. Our to from indication has now changed to from, shown by the white triangle pointing down. This means that we are now tracking outbound from the beacon. Continue on this heading, and as we gain some distance from the beacon, the CDI will begin to recenter, after which we can begin to follow its guidance once more. The CDI is starting to become usable again. See how near to the centre it settles, and then smoothly follow its guidance as before. The CDI has moved over to the left. This means we are to fly to the left to re-intercept our radial.
Let's turn left. Intercepting. Correction can be not as extreme here, given that we're still very close to the VOR. We don't need a large interceptor.
We will now leave this radial. Please make a left turn to heading 180.
Fly south 180, 17 degrees bank.
Continue on this heading for a short while. We're going to gain some distance from the VOR and then practice what we have learned. Now we have some distance between us and the VOR. We will now repeat the techniques we have discussed. Turn the OBS knob to centre the CDI with a 2 indication.
Switch. Whoop. And going off course here, I was distracted by turning the VOR needle that I forgot.
We now see at the top of the OBS dial our course to the VOR. At the bottom we see our current radial. Turn left to the inbound course shown at the top of the OBS, taking us back to the Jersey VOR.
Turning 020, correction 030.
Now turn the OBS to recenter the CDI as needed and turn to that updated course. Follow the guidance of the CDI once again and fly us overhead Jersey VOR.
Zero 20 set a little bit to the left and not further. Well, it looks good. We are not exactly on 0 to 0 right now, so the needle slowly moves to the right. That means we're heading. VOR needle is still centered up. It's going a little bit to the left now, so we correct the course. For 015, that should be
We will again fly overhead the VOR, watch for the sensitivity to increase and avoid chasing the CDI needle.
Went back 0 to 0 and then keeping the heading. See the needle starts moving, so we're coming close to the VOR.
As we reach the overhead, maintain your course as your guidance is lost whilst travelling through the cone of confusion.
Above the VOR now.
This is the basic technique to find and fly directly towards a VOR station using an OBS. We will next explore the interception of specific radials inbound and outbound from a VOR. Perfectly flown.
Alright, that completes Lesson 5, VOR Navigation, Part 1 of the FS Academy Interceptor program. I hope you enjoyed this mission as well of the Interceptor program. If you liked the video, leave a comment, like and subscribe, and thank you very much. See you next time. Bye.